Guys, this flyer that is supposedly put up by the taxis union or the taxi drivers union, if true, is telling us something. And what is it telling us? It is basically telling us that we need to get our act together. We also need to make a distinction between the true Amazonian fighters and those that are going contrary to the revolution. The AGOVC have already made it clear that all taxis, which are not colored black and blue or whatever they call it, will be burnt. We already know who the culprits are. They are the AGOVC. So those who are in touch with those supposed taxi drivers union need to talk to them and let them know that they need to make a clear distinction. They cannot be putting out a blanket statement like that, because if they do, then they're calling for blood. If they start targeting all Amazonian fighters, they themselves are not safe. They also need to remember that the Amazonian fighters do not live out in the open. They are guerrilla fighters, which means that they live in the shadows. The taxi drivers, are out there in the open. So if they start targeting all Amazonian fighters, that means that they're playing into the hands of the enemy, and they're also playing into the hands of the proxy forces of the enemy. So that pamphlet they need to go back and redo that pamphlet. Make sure that they make a distinction. You cannot put out a blanket announcement like that, putting everybody into one pot. Not all the Amazonian fighters are responsible for the burning of those taxis. It is a different fighting group, which is the AGOVC and the ADF. It is Ayabacho's group that is responsible for that. And those taxi drivers need to have the guts and the balls to put that in writing, because if they don't and they continue to classify everybody, then it's going to be bloody. And they are the ones who are going to suffer the most, because they are visible out there in public. They are going to arouse the venom of all the other Amazonian fighters. So they need to be very careful when they put out such publications. You cannot be putting out statements like that in anger. You have to, have a cool head when you're writing such statements. Portraying every Amazonian fighter who is a freedom fighter as a terrorist, it's not going to bode well for them. So they need to be very careful. Well, the good thing is that number, they have a number there, 237, whatever it is. Somebody needs to call them and try to put some sense into their head. Maybe they can go back and edit or add, something in it. They cannot be putting all Amazonian fighters into one bucket. They are not. There is a clear distinction between or amongst the fighters. You have those of the ADF that is being led by Ayabacho Lucas in Norway, who are the ones committing the atrocities. The illegal tax collection, and now the changing of the colors of their taxes, which most of us, the majority of us, 99.99% of us, do not agree with that policy. So they need to target the ADF and the AGOVC of Ayabacho, not all the fighters. Because if they don't and they continue, or they want to go ahead and target all the fighters, they themselves, terrible things will happen to them. So they need to remember that they are the ones who are visible to the public. The Amazonian fighters are not visible. So they need to be very tactful. Again, this is Uncle Vince, and anybody who listen to this message and they have a direct connection with those taxi driver unions, they need to call them and have them go back and revisit that pamphlet. It is wrong.
Yeah, Uncle Vince, I think I have got all what you have said, but I would equally like to create your indulgence to understand that the taxi drivers will not know whether the fighter that has burnt their vehicle is from Gulf C or from Gulf C ADF or the IRF fighters. They cannot, because there is nothing on their faces. They don't have a uniform. They don't have any material. They don't have any plaque, any signboard, any sign on them when they come out to operate, that the taxi drivers will know that this one that is burning my taxi is either from the IRF or from the Gulf C ADF. They don't. So we cannot equally tell them to go back and arrange their document to put it in a way that they will know that it is Ayabacho. It is now left for the frontline leaders to come out and call Ayabacho to order. You people at the diaspora, the frontline leaders, should not be pretending and doing a lot of unorthodox things. Why the whole weight, the whole calamity comes down to ground zero. We won't accept it. We won't accept it. The rope has been too long. We will cut it any moment. We will cut it. You people have refused at the diaspora, the frontline leaders, to come together or to collaborate. If they cannot come together and choose one single person that will talk on behalf of the Ambazonians, if they cannot collaborate, if you bring up a strategy that they should change the colors of the taxis in British Southern Cameroon, which I would like to call like that, not Ambazonia, then it should be something that should be agreed upon. Not that frontline leaders, who are about 240 of them in the diaspora, anybody will just sit and imposes anything on ground zero. We will not stomach that rubbish. We won't. There is a moment that if you people joke, the whole thing will collapse. You people are stretching your hands too far in the annals of an elephant. I mean, too far in the annals of an elephant. You don't think you can just do anything, bring any rubbish strategy and impose it or imposes it on ground zero. You don't do that. Is ground zero a cassava farm? Is it a German farm where people think they can just walk inside at any time and do anything under the pretext that they are fighting the enemy? How important is that strategy? How important, how valuable is that strategy of changing the color of a taxi to the struggle? What has it got to do on the desk of United Nations? What has the issue of changing the color of the taxi got to do at the decks of the European Union, at the decks of AU? Because these are bodies that we are crying, thinking that they can stretch their hands and help us. But when they sit and see us destroying ourselves, are we really people? What is wrong with you people over there? Are you people cursed? Have I not told you people that you have a way to come out from the hands of the 4 people that are disturbing this struggle? Have I not given you people a good strategy? If you people cannot use the strategy, you people should stay quiet. When you come out and say the people have made a general statement, you want the drivers' union and the taxi drivers to say that what? Do they know when the fighters are on the ground? What is there to differentiate that this one is Gulf C, ADF of Ayabacho? What is there to show? The guns they are carrying, is it not AK-7? Is AK-47 different from another one? Then they dress and call themselves Chang boys. So Chang boys of Ayabacho and Chang boys of the ARF. What is the difference in between them? I think what you have said makes no. I think it has nothing to do with that plaque. Whether it's a plaque, whether it's a paper or a document that has been written. I've not even seen it. I've just stumbled on your voice, and I'm already complaining because it's not correct. You want them to say that what? You want them to go back and take the pamphlet or the whether you call it what, and change it and say that Yabache's people can they, if they put all the fighters down and ask even you, Vince, Uncle Vince, that go now and show who is who. Will you know? Most of you over there, have you ever seen the fighters? Do you know them? That's why you people need to be very careful. You people have to be very careful the way you dabble with the lives of we on the ground. This is just pure rubbish. There is nothing. I think the right out is correct. If they say that fighters, Amazonian fighters are now destroying taxis in the town, they are right. They are right. So it is left for you people out there now to go among yourselves and correct the situation there, and not the guys. Not the guys. You want the taxi driver to say that what you are saying is politics, which is not correct. It's pure politics you are saying now. This propaganda. You are shifting it to Ayabache's people. Yes. Which is true. I will not say that which can be true. Which is true is being done by the Ayabache people. But our level of understanding in this forum, you don't compare it with taxi drivers. It is I and you in the forum now that knows that this thing has been done by Ayabache's people on the ground. But the taxi drivers, they don't know who is who. They know that a gunman who is not a military man from La Republic is an Amazonian fighter. Even the thieves who come out, those fake ones, when they commit any crime, all of us on ground zero know that they are Amazonian fighters, because that's how they, when they come, that's how they portray themselves. And why all this? Because you refuse to collaborate. You people don't have a central pipe where you pipe out information for everybody. You people have made in such a way that Ayabache has his own pipe where he pipes out his news. Marietta has his own pipe, he pipes out his news. Chris Anu, Sako, all these things only on ground zero. What crime have we committed? What have we done to you people? You people don't need to be very, very careful. I mean, very and double careful.